Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Girl Time Podcast. I am your host, Lanisha Huggins, and this is episode 13, The Art of Communication. And I am joined here with my husband, the amazing Georedt Michael Huggins.
Hello, everybody. How we doing?
This episode is a 4-part series that will feature different couples in discussing the art of communicating. This is part 1, of course, and we will discuss the beauty of communicating in our marriage, understanding that it's not easy, and what is displayed after being together for so many years. Georedt, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
I was born and raised here in good old Muncie, Indiana. Son to George and Teresa Huggins. Grew up in church, very involved in the community, and also very involved in the arts, music backgrounds, creative backgrounds, play multiple instruments, singer-songwriter, sing on my praise team. Right now, I am pushing my photography business. I also have a clothing line, so it kind of got started off that, doing my own shoots, promoting my clothing line, and started really getting more into photography. So I have a photography studio downtown with 3 other colleagues, 2 photographers and an artist in there right now. It's called the AMP Studios. AMP is an acronym which stands for Art, Media, and Photography. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay. And guys, I know all of this firsthand, everything that he just said. So I just wanted him to say it because it is way too much for me to say.
Way too much.
It is. So we have been married for 3 years now. June 24th made 3 years. And how long have we been together?
Wow. You know all that
taking too
math.
long.
No, you been together. See, that's different. I know exactly how long we've been married, but you calculate some different days in there.
No.
That
Okay, so we actually got together officially November of 2014.
November 2014.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's going on 6 years.
Going on 6 years we've
This
been
year.
together. Okay.
What is your definition of effective communication in this marriage?
Effective communication. I guess I would break down effective. If your communication is effective, which means that you are making strides, you're able to communicate something and get things done, and we're not going around in circles or miscommunicating all the time. That would be, I guess, my definition of effective. So I guess if I can say something or you can say something to communicate, that would put us on the same page. And I understand what you're saying. You understand what I'm saying.
Okay, so let's give examples of miscommunications in our marriage because there are a lot.
Yes, quite a few. Right now, well, one of the things that we've kind of gone back and forth on was our communicating with what time she actually had to be at work. So we kind of, because she knows her schedule in her head. She knows her schedule. She knows exactly what time she is supposed to be there, and she also knows what time, what things she has to do before she leaves out. So earlier, when she was giving me her schedule verbally, might I add, in passing, I mean, you looking at me.
No, because
it makes a difference. So
it does, but I don't even have it written down.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So that's the only way I can give it to you.
Right. So you would say, "Hey, I gotta be back at work by this time." In my head, I'm thinking, okay, you have to be clocked in because the previous job that I had, you literally have to badge in the latest at a certain time. And I've communicated with her, hey, I want to leave the house by this time because I have to, at the latest, be clocked in by this time. So when she tells me, I'm thinking through the filter of, if you tell me you got to be there at 11, I'm thinking, okay, you have to leave the house by a certain time so you could be clocked in there by 11. But come to find out, well, 11's a bad time. So I would say like 2:00. So that was a big thing. Okay, you have to be in at 2. So I'm thinking, okay, we got to leave the house by a certain time so you can be there by 2. But really, she doesn't really need to leave the house until 2 because she has a few things to do by the time she gets there. She doesn't really have to leave and take off with the bus till what, like 2:15 or something like that?
Yes.
Right.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done. So when she told me she had to be at work at 2, and there's a lot of precursors to this as well, because she had told me at one time that she, wanted some help. Hey, let's help each other, hold each other accountable, get to work, wake up on time, do different things, stay on schedule, all those things. So this is kind of going around in my head. So when she tells me she's got to be at work at 2, I'm thinking, okay, we got to be out this house by like 1:50 at the latest, 1:50, 1:55, and get you there at 2.
And this is why this is so frustrating sometimes, because when I tell him this is, and I explained this to you many times, so I have to be out the house by 2:00. I have to pull the bus out of the bus station at 2:15. Mm-hmm. And if I am late, I mean, it's not a very big deal, but I don't like to be late because I don't like, there are so many people that depends on the bus system, and I don't feel like having those conversations with those people. Anyway, I tell him over and over, babe, 2:00, I need to be out of the house. But he asks me this every single day.
No.
You do.
It's not every single day.
And then sometimes, wait, I'll let you talk.
Okay.
I'll let you talk.
You're right.
So,
okay.
And then there are times when we're leaving the house, I leave out before him. He say, hey, go get in the car. And I'm like, oh, okay, I just want to make sure I got everything. But I leave out before him, and he will come out later. And I'm blowing the horn like, you need to hurry up, because this is you working on my schedule. But
so that
I explained this to you before, and I explained to you that it's not a particular time to where I will have to leave out the house. I just say 2:00 just so that I can get there without rushing. Mm-hmm. But then
what just happened the other day?
You wanted to rush me. There was 10 minutes.
No. The day before that, what happened?
What happened?
You ran yourself late.
I wasn't late. I was just rushing. And I'm just saying,
late.
I wasn't late.
You're later than what you wanted to leave out of the house. You want to leave out of the house at 2. What time did we end up leaving out of the house?
It was about 2:05. Yes.
2:07.
But what I'm saying is I wasn't late. I just don't want to rush to get there. But that doesn't mean I'm late.
Right. But the thing about, by the time you were late, by the time we got there, you were late.
Well,
you were saying it. You were saying it verbally in the car because you were rushing. We were making making some wrong turns.
No, okay.
And turning
that
here.
Does not mean.
Oh, why did I go this way? And I should have went this way. Different thing. By the time you got there, you were late. Whether it be 30 seconds, whether it be a minute, 2 minutes, whatever, you were late. You ended up being late. By the time we got there, right? Yes or no?
No. I got there at 2:15 is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Was it after that when I got there?
Oh, I'm just saying you're supposed to be there at a certain time because you have to do your bus walk around. You have to do all that.
Listen.
And you have to pull out at what time?
Linda, listen.
What time do you have to pull out?
Linda, listen. I wasn't late.
What time do you have to pull out?
You already know this.
I don't.
You just said it, 2:15.
Okay, so you're late because you got there at 2:15. You didn't.
I was not late. Listen,
if you didn't pull out at 15,
no, it doesn't work like that. And I'm trying to explain to you, it doesn't work like that.
Time is fluid, and it doesn't matter what time she gets to work. She's never late.
Oh gosh, this is not going anywhere. Okay.
See, this is the whole communication piece, and this is why it was kind of confusing to me because you would tell me, "Hey, I want to be out of the house at this time," so I would strive to try to help you, right? And then the next day, that whole car ride when we were going, that day that she wasn't late, but she was later than she wanted to be. It was very stressful for me to sit next to her because she's making wrong turns. She's like, she's hard to talk to. I can't really help because I'm getting shut down. Why'd you go this way? Why'd you go this way? Why'd you go that? And she likes to drive because she knows the fastest ways to get different places. So when we pulled up later than she wanted to be, later than she needed to be, that next day, I'm thinking, okay, let me not rush her, but let me just kind of try to help remind, hey, I'll be outside. I was making sure that I was, nowhere to be any kind of hindrance to her time. I stayed in the car a few minutes extra waiting before the time that she needed to leave the house. I was doing my work in the car waiting on her. When she came out, or right before she came out, it was probably about 1:54, 1:55. I honked the horn not to rush her. In my mind, I was trying to just remind her, hey, the day before, we're both creatives, so it's easy to get caught up in our workflow, right? It's easy to get caught up in that. So just as a reminder, hey, be cautious of the time. It's getting close to 2, so I honked the horn. She comes out.
And this is what I was trying to explain to you, because in my head, you were rushing me because that's what always happens, okay? So I looked out the door and I say, hey, don't rush me. I'm paying attention to the time. As a creative, we're different. We're not the same. And this is what I was trying to explain to you yesterday, or the day that it happened, later on in the day or whatever. But I'm paying attention to the time. I know that I have to leave out the house at 2:00, and I know what time I have to be there. I'm not going to just sit on the computer and just continue to work, because by the time I came to the door, I already had my clothes on. When you left the house, I didn't have my clothes on. So I was working and also making sure that I did what I was supposed to do,
Right.
in order to leave out the house on time.
Right. And I'm not saying that you weren't. I was just trying to be supportive and helpful.
I appreciate that.
And I got shut down.
She
said, came to the door and she said, don't rush me. I know what time. Okay, cool, great. Then when she got in the car, it was more of the same. I say to her, hey, trying to put myself in the same, shoes, not trying to say, hey, you're going to be late. Hey, you're doing this. I said, hey, as creatives, we can kind of lose track of time. As soon as I said that, no, you lose track of time. I go back to the fact that whole entire car ride was very stressful for me, because I was like, oh, okay, I'm just not going to say anything. Really, I'm asked to help. I try to help. I get shut down. So it's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I know I have my flaws. I know I run late different places, and trying to work on that as well. I'm very time conscious as well. I just get sidetracked sometimes. And I totally understand that.
This is what we go through all the time. The things that we go back and forth about, because they're not really arguments. They're just conversations that we have back and forth that get a little out of hand sometimes, but we're not mad.
Yeah. I say yesterday kind of got more out of the hand than usual.
But this leads into what I was about to say next, because we were given the example of my work schedule and how I communicate that with you and how you receive it. And as messed up as it is, tell us a time when it was hard to communicate with your partner.
Sometimes when I don't know the type of mood that you're in, it's kind of hard to try to. So I try to ask like little probing questions.
What is some probing questions?
Well, first one is, how you feeling? How you doing? And I usually try to ask that. Like this morning, I came in and asked you how you were. You're sitting at the computer. You looked frustrated. So I asked you, how you doing? You just gave me a shoulder shrug. So I was like, okay, she's frustrated. So I gave you space, and I walked back in another room. And so that's one time when I kind of don't know what type of mood that you're in, because I don't have all of the answers, but I think I'm pretty wise when it comes to some things. And I have some quite a few life experiences, and specifically in the arts and creatively, with the computer software program. So when it comes to things like that, with her, I know she's trying to be really creative and come up, let her ideas and her visions really be manifest. So I try not to add too many opinions. And so to figure out where she is, as far as what type of mood that she's in, I try to ask first and then try to see where she's at, because I'm kind of a fixer. And if I see that there's an issue, I try to fix it. Sometimes she doesn't want me to fix it. So I try to figure out where she's at, and if she needs, or if she wants my advice to do something, or if I'm just to be silent. She says she's in a bad mood or she's frustrated, and then I say nothing. and I wait on a question. I wait on her to ask me, can you help me with this? What do you think about this? And then subjectively, I try to give my best input after that. So I guess filling that out, because that's new for me. I guess that's the newest thing in the relationship, really trying to move forward in that level of communication, is figure out where you are now, to figure out how to approach you, and always don't lead first with an answer, or don't lead first with advice or trying to fix the situation, because oftentimes you just want to vent.
You always have an answer.
I'm just supposed to listen and not give feedback, or not give not give a solution that, whatever, or even giving supportive statements like, hey babe, I'll pray for you, or maybe you should pray, or hey, listen, nothing like that does she want. She just wants my silence and me to somehow communicate that I'm listening to her without me giving advice. And that's new for me. And I'm really trying to properly communicate that I am listening, and I do hear her, and I do understand, and I am going to get emotional with her and feel what she feels without giving a solution.
Okay, so you just said that is hard for me to communicate with you, because when we are going through our emotions and we have a negative mood going on, we tend to bounce off of each other in that way, and say if you're frustrated because of whatever reason, I'm frustrated because you talking to me like I'm crazy, and then I have to defend myself because you talking to me like I'm crazy. So in those moments,
Give
it's
an
really
example of
hard.
me talking to you like
Let's see.
like that, because
It's your tone. It's your tone.
Okay.
It is your tone.
All right. Because I think I can be
Like,
very short sometimes, and it's just
you
like
can
a quick.
be.
And
So
I don't.
there is example when it just happened, literally just happened, and you were helping me with something on the computer because you're thinking. You pause because you're thinking, and I'm just like, okay, I need an answer right now. I need an answer right now. But you, the way that you think, and I know that the way that you think, I'm like, dude, you taking way too long to give me an answer. So when I asked you again, you said, I'm thinking. And I'm like, okay, he just yelled at me. I ain't going to say nothing because I'm already feeling some type of way. So I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let it be, and I'm going to let him think. But he's still taking too long. And in my head, I'm praying because I'm like, Jesus, he's taking way too long. And I need him to answer this question because I'm trying to do what I'm doing. And also not to rush you because I took too long to do what I was doing. So in that moment, I was just quiet, and I wanted to say something back, but I was like, no. I said no because you yelled at me and you got me messed up. I just want you to know that you got me messed up. In those times when your tone is above 10.
Whoa! Wait, pause. To give a little disclaimer, I know what my yelling tone is, and I've yelled before plenty of times in life, throughout life. She's never heard me yell at her.
Honestly, we have not had a situation to where you had to yell like that.
I think that's good.
Putting time and energy into communicate is very important with our daily schedules and other activities that we have going on. How do you make time for communicating?
Well, here recently, I give another example about work, because my work schedule has changed, and now I'm to the point to where I basically am making my own schedule, and you still have your schedule. So being able to work around that, I basically build my schedule around your schedule. I try to be available when you're on your breaks. I try to set my schedule up with her schedule so I can try to make myself available during her breaks. And I'm working while she's working, right? And one thing that has been in my head, I hadn't told her yet, but one thing I do like, I end my night when she ends her night. So I have the car, and I do my best to be done with everything by 9:00 because that's what time she gets off. So if I'm down at the office and I'm working, it stops. I don't like the feeling of having to get her, drop her off at home, or me driving the other car and me still being down at the office and she's off work, because that's essentially our time. Even if it's us sitting, if we're just sitting on the couch watching TV, or if we're fixing some food, if we're just sitting there being lazy for a little bit, I really like to make that our time, because she's up early. And she's gone back and forth. Some days she may pick up a few hours in the morning. And so we don't get to really spend that much time during the day. Even during the day when she's on her breaks, we're more than likely we're doing something with the podcast. We're going shopping. We're grabbing some food. We're doing some little quick chores. And then she has to be right back at work by 2. Or so again, I try to be done at 9. She's done at 9. I'm done.
And that is true, because you have not failed me in that area of being on time to come and get me when I get off work. So that's true. I give you that one. For me, putting time and energy into communicating, I really try, because of my work schedule, and I am tired. And then by the time I get home, sometimes on the computer, or I'm in my room, or I'm watching TV. But I really try to just ask you how you're doing. I try to just kind of get a feel of how you're feeling and all of that other stuff, because we ain't got no other time to do anything because of my work schedule. So communicating through that way is what's best for me.
And also, one thing, you would steal time sometimes, depending on, our job situations. My previous job, during that, I might be working in the office or something like that. And even now, like if I get up early enough, you get up, you'll come steal time. You'll come make me scoot away from the computer and sit on my lap. And then, it only lasts for minutes, and then you walk away and going about your business.
Exactly. It's funny because he sent me some pictures that really described our relationship. Remember those pictures? The guy and the lady,
a cartoon.
The cartoon, the animation.
The girl,
but one of the girls sitting on
his lap,
sitting on his lap as he was trying to do work and really distracting him from doing his work.
Putting their feet on him.
But I do that, yes,
all the time.
Yeah. I would go tell him to move. I need a hug, or give me a kiss, and I'll walk away after I'm done sitting there. And then you can't really work because you can't work around me. So I just try to make sure that I get my time in because I need a hug.
I might get up. A lot of times I get up before she does, and I may, roll over and, cuddle with her, give her a hug or something like that. And she's like half asleep or whatever, and she doesn't want any attention sometimes. And then I go about my business, right? So she's still in bed, and I've already started my work. And like we say, then after she's got up, after, maybe right before she hops in the shower, right after whatever, she'll come in. Then she'll, pull me away from my work just for a couple minutes so she can get her time. It's kind of like back and forth. I try to get that, but we don't give it to each other at the same time. So it's kind of like give and take. And I understand that. Before, it would really, 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 really frustrate me. But then, like, I can expect it. Matter of fact, when she doesn't do it, I'll probably go into the other room and do it to her. Just,
so
distract her.
It is a taught sport.
It's a learned behavior, I guess.
Okay.
Right? Something that we can do that can possibly improve time spent with each other, because we gave examples of what we already do.
Well,
so how can we improve on that? Or what can we add? Or what can we do different?
That's really hard to answer because my schedule is not flexible.
Got you. I have an answer. One of the things I was just thinking about as I thought about the question to even ask you was, I think that the time that I spend by myself cooking in the kitchen, most of the time when you're cooking, most of the time, not all, because sometimes you are working, and I try to work as a multifunctional, multitasking partnership. If you're doing some business over here, hey, I'm gonna take care of us, make sure food's cooked, and all that stuff. I like to cook anyway. So, but I think, especially some of those times when you may just be either watching a show or on your phone playing a game or scrolling through social media or something like that. I think that those are times that we could spend together in the kitchen cooking. Also, no.
No, pick something else.
Well, that's me. I guess that would be a love language that I would like you to participate in because I love cooking.
Oh,
right?
Lord. Now, okay. So we had this conversation so many times. But
So that's one thing, right? And
I don't
we
like
could
cooking.
That's fine. But you can cook some things.
Yeah, something.
And you'll do a breakfast every now and
Yes.
then.
Let me stick to breakfast and you stick to dinner.
And lunch. And breakfast sometimes.
Who you talking about? Yourself?
Yes. Because
let me stick to breakfast and you stick to dinner.
Once a month.
Twice a month.
Cook breakfast twice a month.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. Okay.
I was gonna say on a Sunday.
But I think
but you're not.
I think during that time because it takes anywhere from preparation to the finished product. It takes most of the time anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. Throw some in the oven, microwave
dishes
or whatever. If we tag team like that, that'll even be something.
I can do that.
Yeah. So even something like that'd be cool.
Even though that annoys me too.
That's there'll be less dishes to wash at the end of the night because it won't just be all of the dishes in the sink that we own.
Ways to improve comes with patience and work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of patience because we tend to get a little frustrated with each other because we have to repeat things.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say we can definitely have patience with each other and really not really feeding into when I am frustrated.
Yeah.
You want to be frustrated too. Because then frustration is on another level. Well, because I shut down and I don't want to talk anymore because we keep going back and forth.
Also, I think sometimes you can misconstrue my frustration because you're frustrated.
Oh, you do that too.
And
Listen here.
Sometimes you may be frustrated and I sense that. And I'm not frustrated because you're frustrated or I don't get frustrated at you. It's just some of your reactions. I'm just like, okay, in the moment, I'm short because you're frustrated. So there's no point in like trying to decipher what's going on. I'm going to let you have your time and then eventually we can talk about it. So I'm short. And in some of those moments, you may think like, oh, why do you have attitude? Or why are you frustrated? I'm like, I'm just trying to give you
and so that
space,
happens with me also because when you would say something to me and I'm not really feeling any type of way, I'm just not talking. You take that as, oh, you're mad. Oh, you're frustrated or you're angry. And I'm like, dude, I'm not angry. I'm not trying to be angry. So I'm not trying to put myself in that situation to where I am going to be angry, frustrated, or mad. So I just not talk. But the fact that when you say, oh, you're mad. No, I'm not mad. That makes me mad.
That makes you mad.
That makes me so mad.
Kind of like, calm down. I am calm.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm very calm.
Gotcha.
So I'm not mad, but then when you continue to do it, and I'm like, dude, I just said I wasn't mad. You about to make me go there with you, and I'm not trying to because one of the things that I said that I was really going to work on was how I respond to you. Because I don't care what you say, it just frustrates me. It doesn't even matter. And I think I don't even know why, but it just frustrates me sometimes. So I'm just like, okay, Lord, I'm trying to improve on this. This is something that I've been praying about. And this is something that like, I don't want to feel this way toward you, but I think I feel that way toward you because I see you every single day. I don't know. But it really is something that I've been praying about in order for me to even work through that and allow the Lord to help me with that. I'm just like, okay, let me evaluate the way that I feel right now before I respond because he got me messed up. And then I respond later. And I said, hey, I was short with you because I was frustrated about something else. And so I don't want to take those frustrations out on you all the time.
I try to be really conscious of that. And I don't know. Like
And we won't know. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. We won't know
But I
because
think you do. A lot of times you do take frustration out on me.
all the time.
That has nothing. Has nothing to.
I honestly tell you that, babe, I was not frustrated with you during this time. This is what I was frustrated with. So, I mean, I think that we're improving. And another way to improve on communication is working on ourselves first. Because we're always pointing fingers at each other to where you do this. Oh, you don't do this. Yes, I am done with the questions. Now I want to go into our game.
Yay!
And our game is called How Well Do You Know Your Spouse? If you get it right, there will be a ding. If you get it wrong, there'll be a eh. Question number 1. Mm-hmm. What is my least favorite body part?
Least favorite on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Your feet.
No, I love my feet. My feet pretty. So your least favorite is your feet. What is your least favorite?
My gut.
So question number 2. When I was a child, what did I want to be when I grew up?
Radio host. No. Wait, which one?
The very first one. You can say it. It's okay.
Because you told me one thing and I was just like, okay, you want to be a stripper.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay. Again, I didn't know how transparent that we are being.
We are being very transparent because we're being honest, okay? And I'm okay.
What about me?
With what I wanted. So, I think that.
Do I know? Have I told you?
I'm trying to think.
Okay, I don't know.
You wanted to be a drummer.
You're right. Ding, 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 ding. You're right. I did. I used to take my picture and I would get drummer magazines like Zildjian and Sabian, different cymbal magazines, and they always posted their drummers on the back of that. I always had a little head on there, so I would cut out somebody and then I would take my picture
in the back of the magazine.
In the back of the magazine, like that was me. Yeah. So all I wanted to do, my oldest brother would always say when I was younger, I want to beat. Yep. I wanted to. Yep.
Question number 3. Mm-hmm. Name a country I would love to visit. Where you think I want to go?
I don't know. Hawaii. You don't want to go to Hawaii?
I only been to the Bahamas, so that's all.
Who doesn't want to go to Hawaii though? That's like, all right.
So yours, a country you would love to visit is Hawaii.
Sure. Ding, ding, ding. I'll give that to you.
So what is your place?
Yes, I would love to go back to West Africa, Liberia. I would love to. I mean, the scenery there, Monrovia, Africa, it was great. I loved it. Went on my first missions trip, was there for 7 days. I'd love to go back.
Okay. So question number 4. Did your partner have a nickname as a kid? And what was it?
I think you had a nickname.
What was it?
Or maybe they just, I don't know. I know all your family calls you Nisha.
That was my nickname.
But what was mine?
G-Hug.
You're right. Ding, 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 ding. That was what my friends called me.
Your mama calls you Georedt Michael.
When I'm in trouble. Yes, she called me Georedt Michael, but that wasn't really a nickname. That was just my first and middle name. My oldest brother called me Jerry Bear. So that was probably the closest to a nickname.
And then you also had
really
Huggle BG.
Huggle BG, yep.
And
because nobody could pronounce my first name.
See, I know you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Question number 5. Which of my achievements am I most proud of?
Graduating college.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yay.
I would say yours is, well, renting out a studio.
Greatest? I would say on that one.
I guess.
No, I mean, that's fine. Honestly, it's most recent, and that is when I got my promotion to specialist.
Question number 6. What is my least favorite household task?
Task?
Chore.
Washing
Least
the dishes. Actually, it's either that or cleaning or washing clothes, folding clothes.
Ding, ding, ding. That is my least favorite because the
Fold
clothes
clothes.
still sitting up in the...
That is true, y'all. The
I
clothes,
haven't
the
folded those
clothes
clothes
get
in weeks.
washed.
Question number 7. Outside of my job, because it's definitely not a career, what's something I consider naturally talented at?
Being a social butterfly.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
Yours is singing.
You think I'm naturally talented at singing?
You can sing. You can hold a note.
Etc.
Question number 8. What is my favorite flavor of ice cream?
Your favorite?
Yeah, you
Because
should
you
know that.
eat a couple things. I say cookies and cream. Really? That's what's in
That's
the
a
freezer?
substitute.
Oh, that's a substitute.
My favorite is butter pecan.
Yeah. Okay. High five. Because that's one of mine.
But your absolute favorite
Is
cookie dough.
you're right.
What is a personality trait I dislike about myself?
You procrastinate.
Ding, ding, ding. Same for you.
Yep. And time management.
Oh, yeah, that one too. What type of music do I secretly like? Yeah.
It's not a secret. You like Monica.
Yes.
And you
R&B and hip
listen
hop.
to her every time you're in the car by yourself.
Yes, I do. And I be jamming. What was that song you was listening to the other day on the radio?
Fall
I don't
Out
know.
Boy. That I knew all the words to.
Yes. Whatever genre that is, that's what you secretly like.
I don't secretly like it. I love music, period. But
Yeah, I love music too.
I give that to you, sure, because you didn't even know.
I did not know. And I was just like, what is this? And why do you
Alternative
know
rock.
the words?
Because I'm a musician. I've always just wanted to play drums.
What's your favorite thing about being married?
What's my favorite thing?
What's your favorite thing about being married?
Experiencing life and growing with now one of my best friends. You. Now as in like since we've been in this committed relationship growing into a marriage, like you're one of my best friends.
Yeah. My favorite thing about being married is the fact that we don't argue about big issues. We don't have any extra baggage. We are able to talk to each other even if we have negative feelings towards something. Sometimes it is taken the wrong way, but we're still able to talk to each other. And another thing that I absolutely love is that we continue to be committed to each other in our marriage and to God. So thank you.
You're welcome. Love you, honey bunches.
I love you too. Okay, so that concludes this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. And Georedt, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Of course, my honey bunches.
This was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that you guys got to see just a little bit of what we go through in a day. On Facebook, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to receive notifications on upcoming episodes. We would love to hear from you. Let us know how you effectively communicate in your relationships. Until next time.